Sean, WSRT Fitness. If you enjoy health and fitness related content, please remember to subscribe and comment below your opinions, questions, video ideas. I would love to review and respond to all of them. Thank you guys so much for watching and welcome. Today we're going to talk about the kind of progress that you can expect on your either weight loss or muscle gain journeys. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to kind of wrap in an Athlean X prep update because I haven't done one in a while and I feel we're due. The idea for this video kind of came from, we had another YouTuber with an exaggerated accent recently make a video where he claimed you can gain a ridiculous amount of muscle naturally. And since then, we've also had a couple of other YouTubers come on and tell him he's an idiot, which I completely agree with. He's an idiot. Even before he made that video, I thought he was an idiot, but that's besides the point. Also, recently, I've talked to a lot of people personally about weight loss. They're getting ready, they're getting through the holidays, either they're starting now or they're looking forward to starting as a New Year's resolution to lose weight or to gain muscle, in which they want to make serious improvements in ridiculously short periods of time. And I kind of feel that for somebody who's made progress over the past year, both in weight loss and in muscle gain, I want to kind of share what a realistic sense of progress is like. So I'm going to start with weight loss first because I feel at this time in the country that's more important because 70% of people are overweight or obese. So the goal that I typically tend to set for my clients, and the goal that I feel is realistic for most people, is 1% of their body weight per week. So if you weigh 200 pounds, that's 2 pounds a week. If you weigh 300 pounds, that's 3 pounds a week. I'm sure you guys can do the math from there. The reason why I think that that's a very, very good goal is because that forces you to be on with your nutrition. It forces you to be active, but you don't have to crash diet. You don't have to go to extremes. And it allows you to explore a little bit, to find the things that you need to find to make it a lifestyle, to make it permanent. So that way you can get to a healthy weight and you can stay there. You don't need to be doing some crash course keto, carnivore, vegan bullshit. You need to find things that you like, things that you enjoy that are healthier for you than Cheetos and video games or hours and hours of television and not moving. I'll give the example. Now, when I lost weight, actually lost weight at a faster pace than that. I averaged losing from November of 2018, when I started as a client for the collective, until the first week of July when I hit my goal weight. I averaged losing 1.2% of my body weight per week, which is faster than that 1% goal. But I also know that I was a fucking machine every single day with going to the gym. I was a fucking machine with making my food. I measured my lettuce when I made salads. That's how extreme I got. And I was able to lose 1.2% a week. I stayed right on with my calories. I stayed consistent. And I know most people are not going to be that consistent. I don't drink. I don't go out. I don't go to a lot of parties. I got the kids. I can't afford to go out and party. So for me, it was very easy to make it machine-like, and that's the only way that it would work for me. But because of that, I was able to lose weight at a slightly higher pace, and it was realistic, in which if you can lose weight at that 1.2% pace, great, good for you. Keep it up. However, I would never set that goal for my clients because I realize that people want to drink. People can't be machine-like in their weight loss journeys. So in a realistic sense, 0.5% to 1% per week is a good consistent weight loss. Set that goal for 1% and kick ass. Now I want to go into muscle gain, and I'm actually going to start and end it with a little bit of an example. So from November to July, I actually gained muscle. Now that is, if you've been active for a long period of time, by the way, don't expect that. If you have been inactive for a very, very long period of time and you lose weight at a realistic pace, you can't necessarily expect that much muscle gain, but you can expect to maintain your muscle. You aren't necessarily going to lose muscle because you're in a deficit. I gained 3 pounds of muscle in those 9 months, losing weight at that high pace. That I feel, I wouldn't say I'm genetically elite or genetically gifted, but I would say that I'm at least above average because I was able to do that over a long period of time at a very aggressive rate. I want to just finish off by the way, back to the weight loss part, where if you want to maintain your muscle as you lose weight, being between that 0.5% and 1% seems to be a supported amount that you can lose and not lose muscle. I'm not going to quote a million studies or a bunch of other YouTubers who have said the same thing, but it seems to be accepted that if you are overweight, obese, and you're trying to get to a healthy weight, that you can lose at that rate and maintain your muscle, which I feel is realistic to set the goal to maintain your muscle mass. Now, if you are lucky enough to gain, that's great. Now, since achieving my weight loss goal and then starting to prepare and build muscle and add mass for bodybuilding shows, it's been 4 months, in which that's actually the time since it's been the Athlean X prep time, where I said I want to spend the whole year building and getting better. Now, I've made some changes to my goals because I've decided to do my first bodybuilding show 4 weeks after Athlean X Live. So, getting to the muscle building side of this, in 4 months, according to an InBody scale at my gym, which is an electronic impedance scale, which uses electronic surges to tell you what's fat, what's muscle, what's water, all of that in your body. I realize that this scale is not 100%, but I think it can give us a good example of what to expect with muscle gain. Now, the idiot who I mentioned at the beginning of the video said that you could gain 25 pounds natural in your first year of training, something like 15 to 20 your second year, and then it's like 6 or 8, I forget how much it was for like the third year on. But anyway, he said 25 pounds of muscle your first year. Now, clearly, my first 9 months, I was in a deficit, and I gained 3 pounds of muscle, which I feel is a good number. In the last 4 months, which, by the way, another YouTuber who has a master's in kinesiology basically said if you are genetically gifted, you will gain 8 to 12 pounds of muscle in your first year. And then I think it was 6 to 8 the second year, 3 to 6 the third, and then like 2 to 3 pounds every year after that until you hit your genetic potential. Which I agree mostly with what he said, the one who actually gave realistic numbers. So in the last 4 months, I have gained 3.6 pounds of muscle according to that electronic impedance scale, which I realize is not 100%. However, it is consistent because I get weighed and measured at the same time every morning. I am always fasted, and I always have 24 ounces of water to drink. So that is it. It's the same thing every single time. I make it as close to uniform as possible. I wear the same clothes for the scale, always the really super light shorts and the super light shirt, that with like the holes in and all of that. It's the same clothes every time too. So I make sure it's as consistent as possible. And I realize that that's still not perfect, which is why, even though the scale says 3.6 pounds, we'll say about 3.6 pounds. And the 9 months, we'll say about 3 pounds while I was in a deficit. Anyway, if I were to stay on that pace, in a year, I would gain 10.8 pounds of muscle. That is smack dab in the middle of that first year of training that was said by the guy with a master's in kinesiology. However, it's not truly my first year of training, so maybe I'm getting my newbie gains because now I'm eating in a surplus and my body is becoming a muscle making machine. Not to mention the fact that I'm eating huge amounts of protein right now and carbs to fill the muscle and just be all sorts of healthy, hearty goodness. Anyway, I clearly understand that that pace at which I have so far been gaining muscle, according to the scale, will slow down as I eat closer to maintenance and in a slight deficit to get my body fat percentage down. And then when I get into the real prep, really getting my body fat percentage down there for my first show, I realize that once again, my muscle building is going to slow. So I don't expect to actually gain almost 11 pounds of muscle this year. We're currently sitting at 3.6. I would like to make it to 7 pounds. I feel that that's a realistic number, and that also puts me smack dab in the middle of my second year of training number set by the guy with a master's in kinesiology. So I feel that that is a realistic goal. And so what I'll do is I'll actually link the video down below in which that person with the master's in kinesiology states his number so you guys can check that out, because I feel that that's a realistic number. I feel that he did the best possible video for muscle gain, and there's only so much I can say on top of it. So as far as my prep for AthleanX goes, which I've already mentioned most of what I wanted to say, but just to also reiterate, my original goal for AthleanX was to show up at 185 pounds and a body fat percentage of, I think it was 11%. Now, clearly, I cannot be 4 weeks out from a bodybuilding competition at 11% body fat. It's just not going to happen unless I had some sort of crazy crash situation and I only planned on doing men's physique, those are the guys wearing the board shorts, and fuck that shit. If I'm going to get on stage, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to get up there in my underwear and hope to not embarrass myself. So, when my new goal to get to AthleanX Live, AthleanX Live, my bad, is to be about 7% body fat. If I can get down to 6, that would be great, but I'd like to be at 7% body fat when I show up there, which would put my weight, if I were to gain the muscle that I want to gain, meaning that I would gain 7 pounds of muscle between last year's AthleanX and this coming AthleanX. If I were to gain those 7 pounds of muscle, that would put me, without dehydrating, at around 177, 178 pounds. So that would give me about, if I'm at 7% body fat, that would give me about 4 pounds of body fat to lose, and then the 5% of my body weight in water to lose to get down to my about 165, 166 pounds on stage. That would be my goal. I believe I read that the weight classes, the cutoff was 167 pounds. So I want to make the weight class, which I have to double check that, make sure that I'm right, because that could change my goals even further. However, so I am hoping to show up to AthleanX Live at 7% body fat, which I know Jeff Cavalier walks around at year round. So if I can show up as lean as him, I'll be feeling pretty good. That would be an intense goal, but I got to do it if I'm going to do well on my bodybuilding show. That is not my main focus. I'm going to be bringing my meals with me to AthleanX Live. It's going to look so weird sitting in on such wonderful speakers, shoving meals down every couple of hours, but you got to do what you got to do. I'm going to allow for my last high day on the Saturday of AthleanX Live, so that way I can still go out and enjoy that Saturday night with you guys who go to AthleanX, and then after that, it will be locked in for 4 weeks to my first show. So that's the update. That's where we're at. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. Comment below your opinions, questions, video ideas. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. You can follow me on Instagram at WSRT Fitness. You can join my Facebook group, WSRT Fitness. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.